Good morning, everybody. So, as you may know, I'm Danielle, mum to 4 children. I'm sure you've probably seen one of them running around at some point.
Hi everybody, I'm Margaret and I'm the church administrator here at Christ Church.
We came to Christ Church through toddler group, but before toddler group, life was obviously very hard. We were just coming out of the pandemic. I'd had quite a bit of a tough past, and I'd got to a bit of a point with my mental health there where things weren't great at all. I felt very lost, always searching with questions and getting the wrong answers.
Well, I joined Christ Church last summer, so it has been about 2 years I've been here. I started attending church service some 30 years ago, well, quite a long time ago, and I would say it had been quite a steady one for my religious journey until some years after Summing and I got married. I got pregnant. Well, you can imagine we are so excited about it, and we are full of hope to receive our new member. We do every research to see how to raise the kid and get ourselves well prepared. But you know, things just not turn out to be the way you wish, and miscarriage finally. So I think at that point of time, even though I noticed it caused some ripples to my peaceful religious or faith journey, and it also the start of my faith challenge. Well, in the next few years, this pregnancy miscarriage cycle just repeated again and again and again. Well, I mean, in my heart, the frustration, the anger, the sadness, and the mystery just build up. These feelings, just like I would describe it just like some tiny but invisible cracks in the glass, which still look good outside, but inside already very fragile. This challenge just smashed the fragile glass entirely, and so was my faith. And from that time onward, I kept on asking myself what I have done wrong, and why did God just ignore my prayers, others' prayer, and everything we do.
Yeah, so a friend suggested the toddler group, and I came along, and it happened that the vicar tripped over my son, which initiated a conversation, and we started talking, and he mentioned that he knew somebody that was great that could do a baptism if I wanted, but he invited us to church that Sunday. So initially my thoughts were a bit wary, didn't quite know what to think, but we went along. We went and joined in the service. We were very warmly welcomed. I just remember that feeling of walking through the doors and just being hello and welcome, and feeling the love in the room was amazing. So from that point on, we started coming more regular.
I mean, I can't remember, maybe a few months or around a year later, just on one day, a normal day, I was in my boss' office, and after we finished the normal office stuff, I don't know why and I don't know how, we started a chat on religion and faith. My boss is a very, very dedicated Christian, she has very strong faith in God. I started sharing my sad experiences and my painful feelings, my struggles with her. Very strangely, I felt very peaceful in the sharing. And my boss listened attentively, and she even patted on my shoulder from time to time to comfort me and to encourage me to express my emotions. After I finished, she started to share her very own personal faith stories with me. And then she asked me one question: do you still believe that God exists? Well, I immediately answered yes. And then she continued, well, you know, our God, He knows every experience you go through, and He understands how you feel, even your anger or even your blame on Him. So don't blame yourself about your feelings. He can understand. And then my boss prayed for me for quite a long time. And on that occasion, at that moment, I made my choice. And that's why I'm here to meet you all here.
The more I listened and the more I started to learn, I kept hearing about Jesus and became spiritually hungry and wondering what is this all about, and wanting to learn more. So I started reading. God gave me a really great love for reading, and started learning a lot more there. Started learning more with the children as well, reading the Bible with the children, and they also become more hungry and wanting to know more. And then I got invited onto the Alpha course that answered a lot of questions, and really helped. But I think one of the key points that really, made me feel, yes, this is it, I'm committed now, was at a Christingle service. And there was a point where Lewis was going round and he had this red light and he was putting the love of God into people's hearts. And I just felt this overwhelming emotional feeling. And I started crying. And I wasn't crying because I was sad. I was crying because I was just happy. And I just couldn't believe this transformation. I realised that God was starting to make this transformation within me. It wasn't just becoming a faith or something just spiritual, it was becoming a way of life. That's then when I prayed and I was like, God, yes, this is it now. I'm here for you. Please make me your disciple. My life then just continued to keep transforming. Habits changed, my relationship with people changed, and things just really started to improve. From discovering this newfound truth, and the beginning of that transformation, I started to, before was felt quite hopeless. I was becoming more hopeful. I was quite depressed before, but then I was finding a meaning and a purpose. I started to feel I was loved and I was a child of God and I was here for a reason, which wasn't how I felt before. My faith has improved my relationship with my children, with my family, especially with my mum, which is just beautiful. But God has also opened so many doors and opportunities for us. So I've had the great pleasure of being 6 months into my internship now, where I've been able to spend time just really learning about on how to be a disciple of Jesus and getting them spiritual foundations which are going to carry us on through life, and what I can also pass through to the children. And God's also put a real love in my heart as well for children's work, which is something that's quite funny because I never thought I would work with children. I thought I was okay with my own. That's one thing I've found, is if I say there's something I don't want to do or I don't like, God turns that around. So yeah.
Well, this actually reminds me that we Christians, just like normal people, we do experience ups and downs in our lives. Sometimes we may even lose faith. We are so down, we may blame God. But God is always here, just right beside us. Even though we turn our back against Him, even though we blame on Him, He's still with us. He still listens to our prayer. And He's just looking for the best time, the best occasion, and the best person to help us to make a right decision in our lives. So I would really encourage whoever facing the things challenge in their life, when this timing comes, be courageous and determined to get hold of it and make a right decision in our lives.
Life is still hard. There's still many challenges every day, but the difference is that God is there to walk with me through every step. He sustains me. He convicts me when I do something wrong, but He's there to love, and He's there to guide and to teach you through every day. So yeah, God's still working.